Hello all, welcome to Life Skills from Sanskrit. I am Jigar. Today we are going to talk about a couplet that talks about importance of positivity in our lives. We talked about how friendship is important and how people who encourage us and support us are important in our lives in one of the previous videos. Today we are going to talk about toxic or negative people in our lives. So without wasting any time, let's just jump into it. Durjanasya cha sarpasya varam sarpo na durjanaha sarpo damshati kalena durjanastu pade pade. Let me repeat that. Durjanasya cha sarpasya varam sarpo na durjanaha sarpo damshati kalena durjanastu pade pade. In this couplet, they've used an interesting comparison. What they are trying to tell us here is, if you had to choose between a poisonous snake and a toxic person, you always choose a poisonous snake. Why? Because a poisonous snake might harm you once or twice in your lives, but a negative or a toxic person doesn't miss a chance to harm you ever. So what you need to do is you need to be very, very careful when you're choosing your friends or when you're letting people into your little bubble of relationships. Okay, let's have a look at it a little bit deeply. When we choose our friends, we want to make sure that they are kind of our cheerleaders. That means they're there to help us, they're there to support us, they're there to encourage us. Doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. They should be just there to support us and encourage us. And if we fail, they should be there to tell us that, look, don't worry about it, move on, you'll win the next one. And that's what's the most important thing to have in a relationship, be it any relationship. So what happens when we have toxic or negative people in our lives? Toxic and negative people, what they do is they bog us down. They stop us from achieving what we want to achieve. Sometimes when we are trying to do something positive, they bog us down by their negative thoughts, their negative energy. A lot of negative reinforcements or negative feedback can harm us. If we go to our friends for some advice and if they keep giving us negative advice, you know it's going to discourage you and it's going to stop you from achieving what you want to do. So you don't want a lot of toxic people or negative people in your lives. And we have to make sure when we're choosing new people or when we're choosing people in our lives in general that we choose positive people, people who have positive perspective. Because people with negative perspective can harm us more than we could ever imagine. So whenever you're choosing a new friend, whenever you're choosing a new relationship, just keep that in mind, that you look for somebody who's positive and who's supportive. Let's have a look at the couplet again. Durjanasya cha sarpasya varam sarpo na durjanaha sarpo damshati kalena durjanastu pade pade. My take on this couplet is, if you had to choose between a poisonous snake and a negative or a toxic person, always choose a snake. Because a snake might harm you once, but a negative person will harm you every time they get a chance. Now, I'm not asking you to go and choose or select a poisonous snake as your pet, but this is just an example to give you that how important it is not to have negative people in your lives. Thank you for joining me today. Stay positive, stay tuned.